Controversy and major shifts have swept through MMA, creating a storm of rumors and showdowns. One moment, Justin Gaethje vows to plant his feet at the center of the cage without fear. The next, Michael Chandler faces accusations of cheating from multiple rivals. Meanwhile, Israel Adesanya's hot take on an Alex Pereira matchup adds to the intrigue. Jon Jones' potential collision with Tom Aspinall has fans clamoring for details, and Ilia Topuria plots a leap to lightweight that could upend an entire division. Outside the Octagon, Dana White's new boxing venture promises shocking fights of its own, and not every UFC athlete is sticking around long enough to see how it all plays out. Let's explore the biggest stories dominating the fight world this week. Justin Gaethje has long been the embodiment of a fearless competitor. Whether he's fighting a crafty striker or a powerhouse wrestler, the highlight is famous for never backing down when an opponent motions him forward. During a recent media scrum, Gaethje doubled down on this reputation, promising to meet any center of the cage showdown with open arms. Fans have seen him pay for this unflinching style in brutal battles, but he insists the intensity is part of the show. He's built his career on heart-stopping exchanges, often refusing safe tactics if it means keeping the crowd on its feet. While some worry about longevity, Gaethje believes he's wired for wars, a viewpoint that keeps him in constant demand for headliner bouts. With his divisional ranking high, another highlight finish could place him squarely back in title contention.
I'm fighting the best guys in the world, the highest level. Can't make mistakes. That was number one. Pick your battles. So pick my shots. That's my goal now. I didn't know I could go, fight like that, to be honest with you, until I started. Before that I was undefeated and I just never thought about it.
Michael Chandler, typically lauded for his athleticism and high-octane style, can't escape the spotlight lately, but not for reasons he'd like. Both Dustin Poirier and Justin Gaethje have suggested Chandler knowingly skirts the rulebook with eye pokes, shots to the back of the head, and other questionable moves. Gaethje, in particular, took aim at what he sees as blatant fouls that referees too often overlook. Meanwhile, Poirier cast further doubt on Chandler's squeaky clean image, claiming the warm, motivational figure fans see on TV differs from how he acts behind the scenes. While many insist open-finger gloves make accidental eye pokes unavoidable, Chandler's critics argue there's a repeated pattern that goes beyond mere bad luck. With so many calling him out, observers are curious whether Chandler will publicly address these charges, or let his performances do the talking in the cage. Speaks, combat fans listen closely, especially if it involves Alex Pereira, fresh off a series of statements that Pereira's stand-up game and relentless mentality could break Magomed Ankalaev. Adesanya didn't hold back. He noted Pereira's grit in fights, recalling instances where Poatan got clipped yet recovered almost immediately, then returned fire to devastating effect. Still, Ankalaev is a master at mixing angles and grappling, which might derail Pereira's striking onslaught. Those favoring Ankalaev point out he's more than just a one-trick wrestler. His striking is methodical and precise, meaning Pereira can't assume a straightforward brawl. Adesanya, however, remains unconvinced Ankalaev can weather Pereira's raw power for 5 full rounds. If this matchup goes down, the contrast in fighting styles alone could make it a classic.
Breakdown sponsored by Steak. This week sees the much anticipated light heavyweight title fight between my fellow Steak ambassador Alex Pereira and Magomed Ankalaev. Steak are paying double winnings on bets on Poatan if he finishes in the first 2 rounds. And we're back again, like we never left.
UFC 313. Let's look at the cards. Stacked
Let's go. I actually don't know. Who is
Heavyweight champion Jon Jones, already considered by many to be the greatest MMA fighter of all time, may soon face a rising star named Tom Aspinall. Dana White expressed optimism that Jones versus Aspinall could become a reality within the year, even as some fans and analysts remain wary. Jones has flirted with a Stipe Miocic showdown, and injuries have previously sidetracked his plans. None of that deters Aspinall. He's eager to test himself against the champion and insists he has the speed, technique, and ground game to threaten Jones. Observers highlight Aspinall's underrated footwork, claiming it could cause Jones problems in the striking department. If the UFC locks this matchup in, the magnitude alone would be historic. Jones's dominance has overshadowed many rivals, but Aspinall carries a confidence that might breathe fresh life into the heavyweight division.
If I give him the opportunity to fight me, I want to be so compensated. It is. That's just what it is. Or else My life is perfect without him. I don't need him at all, and he needs me. And that's a good place to be in a negotiation.
It's now 3:43 a.m. Just had a meeting with Dana, the other UFC brass hunter, and all success.
Ilia Topuria has decided his days of brutal weight cuts at featherweight are over. The Rising Stars team has revealed that slashing nearly 50 pounds off his frame became unsustainable, prompting him to shift gears to 155. Whispers of a direct title shot against Islam Makhachev surfaced almost immediately, though many doubt the UFC would let a newcomer to lightweight leapfrog established contenders. Still, the possibility remains. Topuria's highlight reel finishes and spotless record have made him a valuable commodity, and the UFC often rewards marketable talent with rapid opportunities. His manager confirmed the organization hasn't outright dismissed a title shot. Fans split into two camps, one side craving a fresh face challenging the champion, the other insisting Topuria earn his keep with a few big wins at 155. In either case, his entry into the stacked lightweight division is big news and could shake up the title picture.
Him, whatever I want to do, because I know that I'm much better than him. Exactly. But I know what he's gonna do inside the cage. That's, listen to what I'm telling you. He's the world champion. He's the world. It's only a matter of time. Really.
I mean, we just saw Merab Dvalishvili.
Of course. Merab is dominating the whole division. So we'll see what he's gonna do. Maybe he's gonna move to the featherweight division.
Alex Pereira recently stirred controversy by suggesting Ankalaev's dedication to fasting during Ramadan wasn't genuine, implying it might be a ploy to dodge responsibilities or gain sympathy. Ankalaev fired back, warning Pereira that insults only fuel his motivation. While both men are no strangers to confident trash talk, this exchange feels particularly personal. The real question is whether this extra tension might affect Ankalaev's typically icy composure. If he fights emotionally, Pereira's world-class kickboxing may find openings. On the other hand, a fired-up Ankalaev could impose a grinding ground game early, snuffing out Pereira's striking range before he gets into a rhythm. Either way, fans are eating up every sound bite. This war of words might be just the spark that turns a marquee fight into an all-out grudge match.
Ну, на самом деле так и было, что долгое время мы не могли биться с ним. Иногда получалось, что Перейра говорил, что его команда как бы приняла решение, там он взял отдых, и я принимал бои. После того, как я принимал бой, сразу предоставляли ему другие.
Bobby Green has never shied away from acknowledging mistakes, and his quick submission loss to Paddy Pimblett felt like a gut punch. He describes it as slipping on a banana peel, one false move that cost him dearly. The environment was chaotic, with Pimblett's home crowd roaring from the first bell. Green admits the energy may have rattled him more than he expected. Now, he's determined to prove he's still a force in the UFC. His next bout pits him against a surging contender who sees Green's name as a valuable scalp. Yet Green has an edge in experience and a versatile striking arsenal that can frustrate younger fighters. If he can reset and deliver a strong performance, the man known for relentless pressure and an unorthodox style might remind everyone that he's far from washed up.
The top of the game.
Yeah. I'm just a contract killer, bro. I'd be at my house, and they'll call me and say, hey, we got a contract for you. Go out there and fulfill your obligations. Do what you need to do. And that's all I'm doing, simply. A house that I'm renting, I'm like, no, that's not yours, And even a mortgage, it's not yours until you own it. I know we got to still pay property taxes and they can still lose it, but blah, blah, blah. My name's on it and it's mine.
Dana White's new boxing league, backed by a prominent Middle Eastern partner, is closing in on a big debut rumored for September. Dana teases a massive fight that only his well-connected partner could negotiate. While White maintains that MMA athletes won't jump ship to box, Alex Pereira has publicly mused about testing himself in the ring, specifically against heavyweight champion Alexander Usyk. Could the UFC make an exception for the right payday? In combat sports, never say never, but as new ventures arise, not every fighter remains remains on the UFC roster. Dana White recently released Julian Marquez following multiple losses, including a vicious knockout at UFC Vegas 103. Once a promising middleweight prospect, Marquez dropped his last 3 fights by stoppage. After years in the promotion, his abrupt exit highlights the unforgiving nature of the UFC. One day you're chasing a title shot, the next your contract is torn up after a string of bad performances. Marquez's story stands as a stark reminder. In MMA, a couple of mistakes can cost you everything.
What's up, guys? We have just done a deal to start a new boxing league with Turkey, who absolutely loves the sport of boxing.
I am very happy today. I give the flag of boxing to the best man who can handle it. He have a tough job now, but I am sure he will be delivering to the people and the fans the magnificent league and get boxing great again.
We will continue to make announcements on where you can watch and all the rest of the details on the business as we get closer to the launch.
From Justin Gaethje's unwavering invitation to brawl at center cage, to Michael Chandler's mounting accusations of foul play, the UFC is at a crossroads. Israel Adesanya's confidence in Alex Pereira's stopping power against Magomed Ankalaev stokes the fires of a potential blockbuster. Meanwhile, Jon Jones and Tom Aspinall could collide in what may become a landmark heavyweight showdown. Ilia Topuria's shift to lightweight hints at yet another divisional shakeup, and Bobby Green fights to reclaim his spot in the spotlight. Outside the Octagon, the birth of Dana White's boxing venture raises questions about cross-sport spectacles that might turn normal boundaries upside down. At the same time, the harsh reality of being cut from the UFC underscores how quickly fortunes can change for fighters. With every press conference and rumored deal, the future of combat sports continues to twist and turn. In a world driven by hype, skill, and razor-thin margins for error, fans can't help but stay glued to the next development. And in this realm, anything can happen the moment the cage door slams shut.